Hello, today is Tuesday, November 12th, 2019. We're getting real close to the end of the year here, huh? And we're nine school days away from our first week off in a long time, and I really feel it. I really need this day off. And yeah, I don't know, like today was just particularly bad for me. I'm like really losing steam, but I'm really gonna make this push to just really do a good job. Um, I think for like the remaining 9 days, there's just gonna be a lot of work towards writing an essay for my arms class, and for my ELD class, we'll just be studying Edgar Allan Poe. I'll be spending that time kind of like practicing my own planning by just like, being considerate about depth of knowledge levels and whatnot. And yeah, all while I'm trying to ignore this huge specter in my head. And when I mean about specter, like there's always been something that's bugged me, like especially since like last year. And I usually don't like to talk negatively about any sort of my coworkers or anything like that, former or current. And as much as it is though, one of them kind of affected me in a pretty bad way. So I just gotta let it out. And this isn't any of the coworkers I'm having here in school. In this school, I'm really enjoying working with my coworkers here. I'm actually going to talk about a teacher that that really left a bad impression with me last year, and this teacher really just still bothers me because I'm afraid that I might become that teacher one day, and that's a very real thing. I don't know. This morning, I was just like, "Oh, I'm not feeling great," and in my head, my head was just not in the right headspace. I just had the wrong mindset. I was like, "Oh, I need some time to myself." Blah blah blah. I have to do this and do that, do this, do that. I was had like this, like I was struggling with this like very entitled mindset that I was not really enjoying. I don't like that. It wastes a good day to have that kind of mindset. But it reminds me of a teacher last year. Apparently, I think they're entering their 11th year of teaching, and this teacher always called out, and it was really annoying. Like it just really bothers me that like the reasoning the person would cite would be like, oh, I just need some time to myself, and like I'm just always so busy, so I have to call out at work. And I'm like, okay, my problem with that, first and foremost, is like, you're a teacher. Like, a teacher should always be in the classroom, like as much as they could possibly can. And like our job is an important job. At the same time, a lot of people, like the general public, has an idea of what makes a good and bad teacher. And personally, for me, a teacher, one of the hallmarks of a great teacher is that they're there, regardless of their feelings or how they are, and stuff like that. And if there are things that are getting in the way of their work, right? Like maybe that they are regularly calling out, then it's on the teachers. It's the teacher's responsibility to actually make a change and do something. They're models of society, and I'm just really just upset thinking about it. It upsets me thinking about this kind of person being a teacher, right? Very entitled. They're all saying like, always saying things like, "Oh, I always have my kids, and this is the only time I can have to myself," and stuff like that. And the problem with it is like it's just such a selfish mindset, and I personally think teachers are essentially like, one thing that they're not is selfish. They're very, very selfless, and a lot of them, a lot of us struggle with having bleeding hearts, as the saying goes. And it was really bad, and I totally understand if a teacher calls out. Like, I will have their back if a teacher needs to call out. There have been times where I needed to call out as well, but you're losing goodwill because I don't know if I mentioned this already in this vlog, but this teacher called out literally like once a week, and usually it came on a Thursday. And because we worked in a high needs school, it's hard to find good substitutes that stick because students are very difficult students, and those students really need their teacher, right? And this teacher just wasn't present, and then they wouldn't get a substitute. They would end up having to have another person on the staff taking over, and the kids, the kids saw that. Kids are smart. They're gonna see, like, they're gonna interpret it like, maybe the teacher doesn't care for us, or we're not worth it, or something like that. But yeah, I really, it makes me upset. Like, I just think about that, and those kids were always, they would like start going, they would start misbehaving, but it's understandable because the main part of the student's education isn't there. And then, like, I'm just gonna say, like, if the person just can't be there, then they shouldn't be a teacher. Like, I don't care how long they have been teaching. If they cannot do their duty, then maybe it's time for a change. And that really goes back to where I'm saying, like, I personally think I'm a good teacher. I think my staff recognizes me as a good teacher. My students recognize that I actually, I'm a good teacher that cares. But what I'm scared of is I might become that teacher one day. Like, I woke up feeling that way today, and I do not want that to happen. And really, in the end of it, right, we have total control of our lives, especially in America. And for me, I'm just gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna make the decision not to be that kind of teacher. But it doesn't change the fact that I'm afraid of it. I never want to be like that. Like, I can understand where this person is coming from. Like, he has like two kids and family, and takes care of a sick father, and I get it. But just because I get it doesn't mean, like, I'm also their coworker, and what they're like, we all have our problems in the world, and we find ways to fix it. We can decide to change and improve ourselves. And I don't know, this person to me was just, it was just really bad, just because, like, it was always an excuse with this person, and I really think, it just makes my profession look bad, and I really just don't like that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, I'm going really long in this, but this has just been really pent up. Like, I just, and it's a whole cause and effect. The teacher calls out, making other teachers do his job, and then those teachers get burned out, and then they have to call out, understandably, because they're not getting their breaks, and it's just all like, and then it starts to snowball from there. And that's a real problem. And it all comes to the detriment of our kids. And I really wish, in a perfect world, your teachers would never call out, but, like, at the very least, in my head, if a teacher can't be present at their job, and always are complaining about this and that, and this and that, and this and that, maybe they shouldn't be a teacher. I don't know. I gotta let this out, because I know it's vitriolic, it could be toxic, but once again, I'm trying to heal here. I'm trying to reconnect with my teaching practice and really improve it. And not only that, right? Find the fun in it again, because, man, in the time I've been teaching, and I've encountered a lot of bad apples in terms of our profession, and but then there's just as many good ones. So I really want to focus on the good teachers that really put their work in to try and teach these kids. It's a hard thing, but hey, we still got it. Anyway, I guess that's all I have to say. This was a very toxic one, I guess. But yeah, anyway, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. I feel a lot better now. I've let it out. And I know if some of the people who listen, like, if they were in my old school, they know who I'm talking about. And, all we can do is hope that they choose to improve, right? Bye.